Welcome, Jonathan. I appreciate you joining us today. I'm quite honored to have you chat with us. I want to introduce you to my people. I know most of the people in the UK know who you are, but there's probably a few people in the US and around the world that don't. So maybe you could give me just a brief synopsis of how you got started in hypnosis and entertainment.
Thanks, Joseph. It's great to be here. Now, this is as bizarre as it gets, really. I was born on a circus. At the age of 3.5, I was Britain's youngest professional paid circus clown, doing all the silly things with the big red nose and funny feet and all that. And as much as I enjoyed getting the applause and stuff and the money I was earning out of it, I didn't like wearing the red nose and the big shoes and getting bullied at school. So during the time that I'd been earning this money, we worked for a guy that may or may not have heard of in America, but a magician from England called Paul Daniels, who's is the English equivalent of David Copperfield, or at least he was in his day. And any money I earned working as a clown with my dad on his exhibition in Blackpool, I was buying the tricks that he sold. So I got really interested in magic, which is all about misdirection and sleight of hand and this concept that the hand's quicker than the eye. And I found that there was a magic book supplier and they had these books on a thing called Hypnosis, which was like, oh, what's that? And I had this weird idea, like I suppose many people do, that if I can learn that, then these people have been bullying me. I can get one over on them and the bullying will stop and I'll be able to, have this power over people.
So it really started as a defensive against people bullying you and taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people have experienced that.
That yes, it can work in situations like that to help you psychologically overcome the way you feel about things. And to an extent, it can help you take control of situations. Certainly can help, but it's not that as simple as that, as I'm sure a lot of people already know.
But it's a tool that you can use to take control.
Definitely. And, over the years, there's no saying that people who get into hypnotherapy are merely searching for answers to their own problems. And I think that's how I got into studying the hypnotherapy side of things, although I came from a performance background. Mm-hmm. To be honest, at the age of 14, I was lying about my age, saying I was 18. There's no laws in England about how old you've got to be a hypnotherapist. So I got all the local newspapers to do stories on me and started actually doing sessions, stopping people smoking, weight loss, phobias, all the stuff that's kind of bread and butter money to hypnotherapists. And it was great. It was helping change people's lives and making me money, but I still missed that applause from when I was performing.
You were actually doing hypnotherapy at what age?
14.
Wow.
That was back in 1989.
So you've helped probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of people.
Personally, one-to-one, definitely tens of thousands, because obviously over the past number of years, rather than seeing people on a one-to-one basis, I've tended to specialise in doing group events. So we might get 50, 100, 200 people in a room and stop them all smoking together. And I suppose through indirect help, because over the past sort of 18 years, I've been teaching people on a small level, although that's really taken off over the past decade. Mm-hmm. I'd say, I know that the only figures I know for definite, to be honest, Joseph, are that over 1 million of my DVDs and courses have been shipped around the world.
That's amazing.
But I don't know how many of them have been lent out to other hypnotists as well. Mm. So indirectly, I would say that, if each of those people only treated 10 people ever in their career, that indirectly that's 10 million people that have been out.
That's incredible. That's quite an experience. Well, how did you get into going from one-on-one training into training others to actually do what you do?
I'll be honest, it's because as I started doing it, I was, if you like, I was riding blind. I'd read some books, I'd taken a bit of a mail order course, but they didn't tell me that much. They all seemed to contradict each other, and it was like, One person says this, one person says that. And I sort of had to guess and experiment and adapt. And I found that some things did seem to work better than others. But then, stuff that some people said wouldn't work at all did work. And this gave a real quandary of, is someone hiding something here? Is somebody lying? Have they got something to hide? And because I was naturally curious coming from the magical background that there's a secret, they're misdirecting me from something, I sort of took a step back and I started to think of it as, is hypnosis a trick? Let's think of it as a magic trick, but misdirection of the mind. And suddenly, pieces of the jigsaw started to fall into place for me, and I started to try things out with clients, and they were working better than what I'd seen in the books. Mm-hmm. And I came to the conclusion that, hang on, all these people that are writing the books, they don't want you to know exactly how they're doing stuff because they're scared of having competition that would be as good as them. Mm-hmm. So they're making products to sell you and get you addicted, so you learn a little bit, but then you've got to go on their advanced course and their master practitioner course, as happens in things like NLP. And then you've got to go on this trainers, and they come up with all these fancy names, and they leave you hanging. Whereas in truth, if these people are sincere about helping people, they should be sincere in helping you to help other people. So they should really tell you the truth. That was my argument. And my experience led me to realise I've wasted thousands and thousands of dollars and pounds on courses, DVDs, live training seminars. And I still felt that there were bits missing. And it was sort of from the age of 14 with hypnotherapy and the age of 15 with the stage shows and all the funky entertainment side of it, that bits started to fall into place. So when I was 18, I started training people to see if they could duplicate the success I'd been getting with what I thought was a simplified version of all this nonsense and conflict of stories that I'd been getting. Mm-hmm. And I was really happy that it did work for them. So that's when I then started to experiment with other things. And now, many years on, I feel old suddenly. But now, approaching 37 years of age, there is stuff that to date I've not actually taught anyone, mm-hmm. that I've been working on, that is, how can I put it? It's always a cliche when you say something like a roadmap to success. That is so, cliches are the only truthful way of getting it across. I feel that I've come up with a system, whether it's for stage, whether it's for impromptu at parties, whether it's for everyday life when you're at work, if you've got a normal job, if it's for influencing your boss. I feel I've come up with a system that, if followed, will work the vast majority of the time. Now, I say vast majority as in like 99% of the time, mm-hmm. because I honestly don't believe there's a single technique that works 100% of the time with 100% of the people.
Right.
There's ways to adapt it to work 100% of the time, mm-hmm. but before you can do that, you need to get experience of using something that works the majority of the time, so you get the confidence.
Sure, get the basics.
To be adaptable, yeah.
Okay, so that's really what you've done with these free videos that you're releasing this week.
Actually, there's well over 6 hours of videos being released over the course of the 6 days. In fact, on day one, the video, which is on rapid and instant inductions, is just short of an hour and a half in length. No one needs to download it. If they just use the link that you'll be giving them, right. They'll be able to go and watch it online, instant streaming. And they can also download, free of charge, at that same link you'll be giving them, my 550-page complete hypnosis training manual. Teach them pretty much everything I've ever learned, adapted, or experimented with over the past 21 years of stage hypnosis, 18 years of teaching people, everything. There's nothing missing.